Let me turn to Luis Castellano. He is the founder and CEO of Alton, another solar developer. He's been with Alton since its inception for 10 years now, and he's going to talk a little bit more about this game-changing solar market.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I will explain a little bit what we have been doing for the last 10 years in photovoltaic. A lot of experience, I think, in a new electricity sector for utility scale. We started in Spain in 2006. We are an IPP. We make our own development. We manage the process, the construction, the financing, and we invest and we keep our assets. Okay. After our experience in Europe, we saw a potential in the competitive photovoltaic. It's a big change when you can produce electricity with the sun in a competitive way. So 4 years ago, the founder and the CEO of the largest photovoltaic company in Spain came with us, with a team, and we started an ambitious development project in Latin America, mainly in Mexico, and in Africa in some selected countries. The experience of the management team is quite substantial, more than 45 power plants developed and in operation with total investment of 1.5 billion euros. This is our expertise, and we came to Africa. And initially, we selected the most attractive, we think, the countries at that time: Kenya, Nigeria, and Namibia. The three countries, because they need the electricity, they have the experience in IPPs, PPAs discussions, etc. The legal conditions are well developed. So, well, after the experience that I can tell you, after 3 years of developing projects, photovoltaic, which is something quite different to other power plants. Basically, photovoltaic is easy to start the development, but it's very difficult to finalize. This is the problem that we face in most countries, where you are working under a feed-in tariff, for example. You start with an expression of interest, usually, well, not in these countries because we started quite early, but usually there are many developers trying to have the expression of interest because it's easy to start. And the utility or the ministry has to accept, or they are accepting, all the solar developments. And this is a challenge for us, for Alten, and this is a challenge for the utility company that needs to have the discussions, etc., with too many companies. And it's very difficult for them to make a difference between the real projects, the experienced developers, and the others. Okay. Well, now I can tell you that after this experience, we are quite happy in Kenya because we have been able to sign finally the PPA, and we are working to reach financial close of the first 52 megawatt power plant. In Nigeria also we are very close, okay, to do it with a fantastic partner in the project, which is IFC. And then in Namibia also we had a good but weird experience. In Namibia, we went 3 years ago. They launched a tender process for 3 projects of 10 megawatts. After 2 years of the tender, we won the tender against some strong companies, Enel, for example, the Italian. And the problem, and it's something that could happen in other countries in Africa, it's Enel could go to the High Court to challenge because the procedures of the whole process was not exactly as it had to be. Okay, so NamPower now is thinking to repeat again the tender, etc. So one of the advice is be careful with the tenders, be careful with the auctions, okay? You can think it's the best way to have the best tariff, but the best tariff in a project that is not going to be done, that's useless, okay? So, I think that it's a good experience, IFC, with the scaling solar. In my opinion, the problem with the scaling solar is that it's a problem for IFC, okay? It's because it's too expensive in a country for one or two projects, small projects in terms of investment. The whole process is too expensive. Thank you.
Luis, thank you very much. So one of the questions I was going to ask was about competition and views on negotiated deals. But
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.